Okay, let's sing. Okay. All right, so Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my most humble obeisance to my spiritual master who has opened my eyes, which were blinded by ignorance with the light of knowledge. All right. So what we can do is I can sing this first and then we all can sing the Maha Mantra after I sing one time and then you all can follow me. So this one I will sing first, okay? Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatyadesatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatyadesatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Anybody would like to volunteer to sing in whatever tune that you like? Maybe one person can sing one tune. We have more than 5 minutes, so we can have one person sing one tune like that. Is that okay? Everybody can get a chance to sing.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, okay, start.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Next.
Haribo.
Haribo, wonderful. Next, siapa? Cepat, any tune. Sharmila Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Beautiful.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Anybody else? Siapa lagi? Kirtana Mataji. Do you want to sing Kirtan? Anybody? Come on, try. We are together. This is our 10th day together.
Lata Mataji.
Lata Mataji, yes. Good choice. Lata Mataji. Any tune. I play Kartal for you. Siapa lagi? Naveen Prabhu? Vaishnavi Mataji? Anything. Like, you can choose any other simple tune. Like Prabhupada's tune is like this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Sorry. Forgot already. Okay, now I got another tune. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Siapa lagi? Mataji, we still have time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I think everybody must sing together with me. Come sing together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. How? Anybody else? Lata Mataji, your mic is not working. Oh, Kirtana Mataji's mic is not working. Rasini Mataji, carry on Mataji. Any other tune? Or Sharmila Mataji?
Did you call me Mataji?
Yeah, you can sing. We all can sing together.
Hare Krishna,
Wow, nice one.
Hare
Krishna,
Bol.
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare.
I want to follow. I want to follow Mataji. I want to
Oh,
follow.
repeat, okay, repeat.
Krishna,
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare. Okay, next one.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai! So
Bol.
talented, so talented. Apa ni? Pendam-pendam ni. Okay, every day we're gonna have kirtan, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. So next time, the rest, please come forward, open up. You have no idea how we all go crazy in kirtan. We'll dance until we sweat. All right, so now we are just singing at the same place. Okay, so we can go for our class today. Welcome, everybody. Okay. Yeah, it's very nice, Mataji. Your tune is so wonderful. All right, so okay, as usual, we start with the verse from Vaishnava Triyasara. Devaki Nandana Krishna Gita Patena Tushyati Yata Navede Danena Yagya Tirtha Vritadibihi. So I'm clear, right? Okay, so anytime I'm like going offline or lagging, so just alert me, okay? The son of Devaki, the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, cannot be satisfied by anyone's study of the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows, as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita. Okay? So these are the deities from Seberang Jaya Penang, Sri Sri Nitai Gauranga Rai. Right? These are Gaura Nitai, Krishna and Balaram. So their name, the name of the deities in Seberang Jaya Penang, they are Sri Sri Nitai Gauranga Rai. Nitai means Nityananda. Gauranga means Mahaprabhu. All right, Nitai Gauranga Rai. Okay, we offer up my prayers to spiritual teachers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vikna Vinasha Narsimha Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So the program is dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Okay, so we will start with the Gita Mahatmya from Vaishnavya Tantra Sara, Naveen Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can you hear me?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Na shronati na patati Gitam amrata rupinim Ashtatyatvam ratam praptam Sanora Vishamashnute. One who neither recites nor hears the Gita, which is the embodiment of ambrosia, drops nectar from his head in order to drink poison. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So one who neither recites nor hears the Gita, they are actually missing out on the nectar. Okay, so we move on to 9.1. So, okay, so this 9.1 I brought in to recap, a quick recap before we move on to chapter 10 today. All right, if you remember, this is the first verse we touched yesterday, where Krishna is telling Arjuna the important 3 points here. All right, if you remember the 3 important points, one is the means, right? The process to advance in spiritual life is through proper hearing. All right, so to take up the proper hearing, there is one important qualification that one needs. What is the qualification, everybody? What is the qualification? Yesterday, remember, there is one qualification required for proper hearing. Everybody? Qualification? See, I sudah highlight sini. Non-envious. Yes. So proper hearing qualification is non-envious, and the benefit is relieved or free, being free, getting freed from material miseries. So when one hears properly and cultivates devotional service, he becomes free from material miseries. So basically in chapter 9, Krishna described pure devotional service. Means unalloyed bhakti, non-mix, no mixture, free from mixture, pure. Or another word is kevala bhakti. Qualification is non-envious. Process is hearing. All right. And then Krishna spoke about how he reciprocates. Can anybody recall how he reciprocates? Remember the Brahmana story who strike off the line? Can anybody recall that? How Krishna reciprocates? 2 ways. Krishna carries what we lack and maintains what we have. All right. And then Krishna ended the chapter by giving 4 confidential instructions. Okay, 4 instructions. Thinking of me, remember this picture? Thinking of me, how? Chanting, hearing, and then you get the remembrance. Okay, you can remember when we chant and hear. And then Krishna says, become my devotee. All right, which means we engage our body, mind, our limbs, everything, body, mind, intelligence, everything in his service without deviation. All right, and then we went through the 9 devotional activities. Okay, that one, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, all that. And then Krishna say offer obeisance. Finally, he say worship. Offer obeisance is the easiest thing to do. And then do worship, puja. All right, so these 4 are the most confidential knowledge, most confidential instructions. So if we are engaged in these 4 activities, we will be absorbed in Krishna. Then we will be able to go back to Krishna. So that way, this verse stands as the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so what is the connection between chapter 9 and chapter 10? Remember, Krishna said, you should do all the 4 activities, right? So to increase our devotion, sometimes you want to love someone, you want to know more about someone, and then let's say you are away from somebody, all right, or somebody is away from you, and then you go to the places that you have been with that person, all right, it could be family or friends, long lost friend or family member. So how do you remember these people? When you go to these places, it reminds you of this person, isn't it? So in this chapter, Krishna is going to give you a lot of information by which when you see these things, all right, these physical appearances of these things, elements, we will be able to remember Krishna. All right, because some people, they are not able to think of Krishna in his spiritual form, in his transcendental form. So Krishna is giving the physical appearances of things around us. By seeing them, how we can remember Krishna. Why? This is to increase our devotion. So in chapter 10, Krishna will continue to reveal the confidential essence of knowledge. It's a very nice chapter. We cannot go very detailed. You have to read. The sweetness is reading every sloka in this chapter. Okay. So we will go through by category actually, because there's a lot. All right. So there are 42 verses. So definitely we cannot cover them under 1 hour. All right. So I request after our class, you all can go and read. Okay. Just read the translation will do. All right. If you want explanation, then you can go on to the purport to understand why Krishna says this, why Krishna says that. Because if I were to cover this, you have to join my level 2. All right. Okay. 10.1 Rasini Mataji.
Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhuya eva mahabaho shino me paramam vacha yatteham priyamanaya vakshyami takanyaya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead says, listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained.
Okay, so thank you, Mataji. Now you see there are few points here. Krishna is saying, listen again. Sometimes the teacher is like a teacher. Krishna is here like a teacher. Listen again. Why? Because sometimes we are forgetful. All right, or sometimes we are unable to understand. So sometimes Krishna repeats certain things, or sometimes Krishna repeats something by stressing further or providing more detail. That's why Krishna says, I shall speak to you further. So he's saying that he's going to speak further, and he's saying the knowledge that I'm going to give you now is better than what I've already explained. Right? In chapter 9, the title is the most confidential knowledge. So chapter 10 is even better than that. All right. So you remember in the chapter 9, what is the one qualification that Krishna saw in Arjuna before giving the knowledge? He saw that Arjuna was non-envious. So here Krishna is giving another qualification here. The qualification is this: dear friend. One has to be non-envious and one has to be friends of Krishna. All right, so Arjuna has intimate relationship with Krishna as a dear friend. Okay, so these are the two qualifications. All right, chapter 9 was most confidential knowledge. Chapter 10 is a different kind of knowledge, better knowledge, and this will be helpful for everyone. Okay, so remember, non-envious and being a dear friend. Okay. All right, so before we move on, I would like to show you the qualification or the characteristics of someone who can be called as Bhagavan. Bhagavan comprised of two words, Bhaga and Van. All right, Bhaga means opulences in full. Van means one who possesses. So Bhagavan means one who possesses all opulences in full, not little of everything. Everything of everything, all right, in quantities, full, 100%. All right, see, we always see this term, right? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Why this term is given here? So this is the time for me to explain why Bhagavan is used here. Bhagavan means one who possesses all opulences in full. All right, sometimes people call, I am this Bhagavan, that Bhagavan, but actually they do not have opulence like Krishna. All right, so this definition was given by the father of Vyasadeva. Anybody knows the father of Vyasadeva? The name of the father of Vyasadeva? Vyasadeva's father? He's a Muni. His name starts with P. Anybody knows? No? Okay. He is Parasara Muni. Vyasadeva's father is Parasara Muni, and Parasara Muni provides the definition of Bhagavan. Okay. So we go one by one. I got 6. Okay. One is beauty. Right? Krishna is very attractive. He is most beautiful. He's got this beauty that attracts everyone. Everybody gets attracted with Krishna, whether he is a baby or child or toddler or kid or youth. All right. Everybody at every point of time, he always attracts everybody. He attracts the trees. He attracts the animals. He attracts the parents, friends. Everybody is attracted to Krishna. All right. He didn't have money to look beautiful. He's naturally beautiful and he never grows old, right? Like we have to put makeup, we have to do this, we have to do that, and then as we age we lose beauty. All right, Krishna's body is eternal, spiritual body, so he doesn't grow old and is always beautiful, right? He is black, but he's beautiful, right? He comes in any color also, he's beautiful. Next is strength. One possesses strength in full. So Krishna doesn't become strong. He doesn't become God, all right? It's not like after some meditation or penance or austerities, he becomes God. No, some people, after they do some sadhana, some tapasya, they become God. So they claim that they have become God, right? They can say, you can become God, I can become God. So it's not like that, all right? Krishna possesses strength in full. Why? Because the moment he was born, he killed a great demoness, a lady demoness, a female demoness. Anybody knows the name of the lady demon? His Putana, yes, okay. So he doesn't have to grow up to kill such a huge demon. She grew into a huge size, all right. And then after that, what happened? He killed Trinavarta, he killed Dhenukasura, he killed so many Agasura, all right. So this is one example where Krishna was lifting Govardhan hill with his left pinky finger, all right. Can we hold one glass of water for half an hour, 1 hour? But he was holding it for 7 days. All right, very famous pastime, Govardhan pastime. Next, he is full in knowledge. Okay, this is fame. All right, knowledge is here. You see, Krishna is giving Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. He spoke Bhagavad Gita in the middle of battlefield without preparation, right? Sometimes we have to prepare, right? Sometimes we want to prepare before we converse with somebody. But this is a conversation, impromptu conversation. Arjuna asking a lot of questions and Krishna is giving his knowledge, all right? So we can understand how much knowledge Krishna has. So what to speak of knowledge? He was the first person to give the knowledge to Lord Brahma. So from there, Lord Brahma gave the Vedas to Vyasadeva to compile. But the first hand knowledge was given by Krishna to Lord Brahma. So he is the reservoir of all this knowledge. Okay. Remember one time Krishna quoted Vedas also during the sacrifice for the Devas. Remember the rain sacrifice, okay, the harmonious cycle. Yeah, so he quotes, even in Bhagavad Gita, he quotes here and there from Vedas. So he's full of knowledge. Okay, remember, he's full of beauty, full with strength. He's got knowledge full. Okay, he's opulent, his knowledge full, all right, 100%. All right, and there after this battle of Kurukshetra, he also delivered Gita in few other places. He also gave Gita to Uddhava. A few more places I can't recall now. Right, I remember Uddhava Gita. Okay, next is fame. You can see Krishna is the most famous person in the entire world. You can see what, from where his Bhagavad Gita is translated to so many languages. So many people speaks about him. So many people talks about his Bhagavad Gita. All right, people give so many versions or translations to his Bhagavad Gita. Okay, and what else? So many people sing about him. All right, so you can see this is just one place here in Mayapur. Everybody gathers around the world. We always we have this what you call Kirtan Mela. It goes on for a week, I think. So many people come all parts of world, and then they go on walking on these holy places. So there were like thousands of people. They will go together. All right, they have to split into Russian group, Chinese group, in Tamil group, Bengali group, Hindi group, like that. So many. All right, so now this 2 years it's not happening. What else? He is not only famous in this material planet, so his fame is spread all over the three worlds. Even Lord Brahma glorifies him, all the demigods glorify him. For example, yesterday I showed you one verse from Brahma Samhita, so we got so many more how Lord Brahma glorifies Krishna. Okay, and next is wealth. Krishna has wealth, all wealth. Okay, he is very rich. All right, if you see, he's got 16,100 wives, queens, right? And he gave one palace for each of them, which means he had 16,108 palaces. And these palaces are not illuminated by electricity or light like what we have now. This palace is illuminated by jewels, valuable jewels. They are so bright. So he's that rich. That's in Dwaraka. So this is just one wealth. So today we will see what are other opulences. Okay. And then Okay, fame done already. What else is remaining? Renunciation. Okay, a person who has beauty, fame, wealth, strength, knowledge, usually they are attached to all these things. However, you look at Krishna, he can renounce everything and he takes the role of the charioteer for Arjuna. Okay, he became a servant for Arjuna for the friendship. All right, if you know how they drive chariot, the chariot is huge. The chariots are those days, right? It's very huge, which means the distance from the person who sits and the person who rides the horses, control the horses, they are very far. It's like you have to reach with your leg to reach them. So, and then, you know, the battle of Kurukshetra is so noisy during the battle, isn't it? You cannot say, like we tell our Grab driver, right, left, right, things like that. So Arjuna cannot do that. So how you think Arjuna will be directing Krishna to go to left, to go to right? Right, because Krishna has to follow what Arjuna is instructing him. So it is said that Arjuna have to use his leg, touch on Krishna's shoulder. If you want to go to right, he has to touch on Krishna's, like he has to kick. The word was used is kick. He has to kick Krishna's shoulder on the right, and then he has to kick Krishna's shoulder on the left. So can you imagine that Krishna is taking all that? So he's a very renounced person in that sense. Okay, right? So now you all can remember beauty, strength, fame, knowledge, wealth, renunciation. So one point of time you can find somebody has some beauty, like you can find Miss World, Miss Universe, but that person may not have all the strength. And if you find a bodybuilder or, you know, wrestler having all strength, but they might not have one of these, you know, maybe little, not everything. So Bhagavan is one possesses these opulences in full. So this is a criteria for somebody comes and say, I am God. So can you please tell me what is your opulences? Are you full of beauty? Are you full of fame? Are you full of wealth? Okay, so these are the explanation. And this is the exact verse appeared in Vishnu Purana. Aishwaryasya. Aishwaryasya means opulence. Aishwaryam, opulence. Okay, Samagrasya means full. All right. And then Viryasya, Viram. Viram means strength. What else? Yasasa, fame. Okay, Shriya, beauty. Beauty, jnana, knowledge. So by now we already know some Sanskrit word already, right? Jnana. Vairagya. Vairagya means renunciation. Vairagyam, right? Determination or renunciation. Okay, what else? Okay, 6, opulence. Certainly. Okay. So the translation is full wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. These are the 6 opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so let's move on to 10.8. Now, before we start reciting, I would like to tell you, you know, if somebody is like reaching the end of life, right? He wants to read Bhagavad Gita, really totally no time, right? I mean, this is like really emergency, you know, if it's really required. If you can't read the whole chapter, the whole 18 chapters, this person can read these 4 slokas. 10.8, 10.9, 10.11, 10.10, 10.11. 8, 9, 10, 11. These are called Chatuh Shloki. Chatuh means 4. All right. In these 4 chapters, Krishna condensed everything, all his information in these 4 slokas. All right. If you have time, of course, we want to read everything. But if you don't have the time, 10.8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So if you learn these slokas, it is equivalent. It is said that it is equivalent of learning the whole Gita. Anyways, we try to learn in 18 days. All right. If you want, then you can learn across over a 24 weeks program under level 2. Okay, 10.8. Shalini Mataji.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo mada sarvam pavartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samatvitaha. I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so here Krishna is describing his relationship between him and the material and spiritual world. All right, Krishna in the beginning, he instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge. And then Brahma disseminated the Vedic knowledge. All right. So Krishna explains here how everything comes from him, material and spiritual. Okay, spiritual and material. Everything emanates from it. He says that he is the source of everything. This is the knowledge. The knowledge is that knowing that he is everything. He is the origin of everything. And he is not only the origin of the worlds, he is also the origin of the sages. He will actually says the wise, means the sages, right? The enlightened ones. They know about this. All right, so if you can see this illustration here, this is a pretty important illustration, but you may not able to catch immediately. All right, so how the creation actually started? Krishna expanded to 3 Purusha avatar. There are 6 types of avatar. We know 10 avatars. 10 avatars are Leela avatar. There are 1 type of avatar, Leela avatar. You have 10 avatars. And then there is Yuga avatar. And then you have Purusha avatar. You have Satyavesha avatar. You have Triguna avatar and 3 Purusha avatar. Purusha avatar, when Krishna wanted to create the creation, started creation, and to maintain them, he expanded first into 3 Vishnus. Okay, Garbhoda Kasai Vishnu, Karana the Kasai Vishnu first, and then Garbhoda Kasai Vishnu and Shirota Kasai Vishnu. So I will call this 1, 2, 3. Okay. So first, remember how Ganga flew. So that is called causal ocean. Everything in ocean, in water, causal ocean. Causal means Karana ocean. All right. So from there, the Lord is lying there as Karana the Kasai Vishnu. All right. So from his body, a lot of bubbles come out, like a perspiration. When we perspirate, we have sweat, right? We perspire. But when this Mahavishnu perspire, universe come out like little eggs. So you can see this picture here. All right, little eggs. So these little eggs are universes, innumerable universes, unlimited. So and then we zoom into 1 egg, right? So in that 1 egg, universal, right? Krishna enters as 2nd Purusha. He enters as Garbhoda Kasai Vishnu. So he lies down at the bottom of the universe. Okay. So follow, first was Karana Vishnu. Now is Garbhoda Kasai Vishnu. So from his navel, a lotus flower comes, and on that lotus flower, Brahma appears. So that's how Brahma appears in each and every egg, in each and every universe. Any questions, Mataji? Okay, never mind. Then I don't zoom, okay? All right. So you can see here. I hope you can see. All right. So now we are at the 2nd Purusha avatar. Right. Now, right, Garbhoda Kasai Vishnu, from his navel, Brahma comes. Brahma starts creating. When Brahma starts creating all the living entities, Krishna, as the 3rd Purusha avatar, he enters all the living entities as Paramatma inside our hearts. All right. So like that, Krishna started the creation. He released all the universes and he enters each of the universes, and from him Brahma comes. When Brahma created all the living entities, Krishna enters all the hearts of the living entities as Paramatma or Shiroda Kasai Vishnu. Now, Shiroda Kasai Vishnu means, Shira means milk, ocean. So first was Karana ocean, Garbhodaka ocean, and then milk ocean. This is where the Narayana declined with Mahalakshmi. All right. So that is Parkadal, milk ocean. So this Parkadal is towards the top of the material world. Okay, so whenever there are problems, right, we always hear that the devas will go to the Lord Brahma. Oh Lord Brahma, we have problems. This demon is creating chaos. Could you come and help us? So this is the Vishnu or Narayana that they will go and approach. All right. So from Krishna, this Purusha avatar, through that, then Krishna comes as these many different avatars, Leela avatars, Yuga avatars, things like that. Okay, boleh faham? Okay, so like this, I already told you the 3 Purusha avatar as expansion of Krishna. That is why Krishna is saying everything emanates from me. Okay, so when we understand this properly, okay, we will become fully engaged in Krishna's service because we know everything is coming from him. All right. By knowing this, we will worship him with all our hearts. Okay? Paham Mataji? Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so we move on. 10.9. Charmila Mataji.
Okay, Krishna. Machita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are full devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me.
Okay, thank you. So 10.8 is where Krishna is saying that he is the source of everything. All right. So by having that knowledge, Krishna now is telling how do devotees worship Krishna. Okay, in chapter 9, we saw the 4 ways, right? Always thinking about me, become my devotee, pay obeisance and worship. So this is another expansion of that knowledge. So what will they do? What are we doing? We are doing this. We are enlightening one another and conversing about Krishna. And by doing this, what we are having, sometimes I see your feedbacks and messages to me, right? This is exactly what is happening. We are deriving great satisfaction and bliss. It's so wonderful to see your feedbacks. All right. I do take constructive comments. So don't worry. You can tell me. All right. It doesn't have to be all good things only. All right. So I can also improve myself. So don't worry about it. So we derive great satisfaction and bliss. This is why I told you yesterday, it's not only new devotees, they want to learn about Krishna because they think they don't know about Krishna. Because even those who've been in the movement for so long, if there is a pastime story, we will run and listen to it. Okay, it's always like evergreen like that. Okay, so this word here, prana means life, our life and soul, our breath. So for devotees, the prana is Krishna. All right, their lives are fully devoted to my service. They can't think of anything else than Krishna. Their business is to talk about Krishna, to discuss about Krishna, to enlighten about Krishna, to talk about his philosophies. Okay, you all go for holidays with your friends, right? I also go, right? We also have, but somehow or other we'll start talking about Krishna, we'll talk about this, we'll talk about that, and then we feel so happy doing it. All right, there is never a frustration or it doesn't become bland, you don't get fed up, like that. So naturally, they think devotees say, oh, Krishna is so wonderful. They want to serve him in so many other ways. So we take inspiration from everybody in that way. Okay, so this is how devotees worship Krishna. All right, they enlighten one another and converse about Krishna. All right, their thoughts always dwell in thinking about him. Okay, 10.10 now. So by doing this, Krishna is giving us back something. Sharmila Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Esam sadatta yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamamupayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me.
Thank you, Mataji. I love the way you recite. Okay, so here Krishna is saying a couple of points here, right? He's saying, how can we learn about him? All right. Okay, there are 2 ways we hear about him, right? I mentioned in a couple of chapters ago, right? So one way is to read from Bhagavad Gita, to hear his word directly. Another way is, of course, like Arjuna, he's hearing directly from Krishna. And then we can read from scriptures, or we can hear from somebody who knows the scripture, somebody who has heard from that guru, from their guru, and the guru heard from their guru. So like that, the parampara goes up all the way to Krishna. All right. And sometimes some people may think, no matter how much I read, how much I study, how much I hear, I still cannot understand. For this kind of people, when they seriously endeavor for it, Krishna enters their heart and reveals himself to them. All right, this is why he says, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So for those who don't see, Krishna doesn't disturb them. All right, so Krishna sees is actually equal to everybody, but one who devotes their life to him, Krishna gives that special attention. All right, I give the understanding by which they can come to me, and this is how we get reciprocation from Krishna. Okay, so sometimes we can be very long in the spiritual society, so it doesn't mean quantity means quality. All right, so it's about how much we surrender, how much we want to know, and Krishna will reciprocate accordingly. All right, to receive this qualification, to receive these blessings, this knowledge, this is the qualification. Constantly devoted means what? Always engage in Krishna consciousness with love and devotion, not by force. Okay, moving on. 10.11. Tasvina Mataji.
तेषम् एवानुकम्पतम् अहम् अज्ञान्यजं तमः नासनम्यम् अथं भवस्तो ज्ञानदीपेन भावस्ता. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born from ignorance. Thank you, Mataji.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. So, Krishna reciprocates further. All right. Like I say, some people they think that, oh, I cannot understand. I'm not so smart like this. All those shortcomings or whatsoever. But Krishna residing in our heart as a super soul, and he guides us as what we call as Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru means Krishna residing in our heart as a teacher, right? And then he showed them the special mercy. How? Because he says he's dwelling in the hearts and he destroys the darkness born of ignorance. Ignorance means not knowing things, not having the knowledge. So he destroys that with what? Fire or torchlight? He say with the torch of the lamp of knowledge, with the shining lamp of knowledge. Okay, so Krishna acts in our heart. He gives the special knowledge. What knowledge is that? The knowledge about Krishna, not material knowledge. It's spiritual knowledge, or we can call transcendental knowledge. So like this, Krishna removes the ignorance, just like darkness is removed by light. All right, so this is how Krishna acts in the heart of devotee who is very devoted to him and who endeavors. Okay. All right, so we move on. Okay, so this is 8, 9, 10, 11. So first Krishna says that he is source of everything, and then Krishna says how do devotees worship Krishna, and then reciprocation from Krishna, and how he shows special mercy to these devotees. So okay, after all this Krishna has spoken, right? We actually haven't gone to the highlight of this chapter yet. So before going on to that, Arjuna glorifies Krishna with these 2 verses. After hearing whatever Krishna has said just now, right? 12 to 13. Divya Shini Mataji.
Wait down.
Okay.
Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paranam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Majam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishya Sarve Devarishir Naradastata Asittu Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Pravishini. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me."
Okay, thank you, Mataji. You recited very well. Okay, so remember these 4 slokas, Krishna is declaring a lot of things to Arjuna. So with that, Arjuna is accepting whatever Krishna is saying. All right, and then he recognizes Krishna as the supreme absolute truth. All right, he understands that Krishna is original person. He has no problem with it. All right, but he's substantiating that statement by quoting. It's not only I'm saying it, There are a lot of other great sages have said it. All right. And now you yourself is saying, it's like, you have like a disguised prime minister, and then people will say, oh, this is the prime minister, this is the person, and then he's a prime minister. Later on, and then when the person itself say, yes, I am the prime minister, I am the king, then you say that, I know you are this. Okay. And then the sages also have said this thing about you, and now you're saying it, so that establishes that statement very strongly, pretty firmly. All right. So Arjuna is also doing this, he's also declaring this because he doesn't want the world to know that he's simply flattering Krishna because they are friends or cousins. Yeah, so he is actually, sometimes you have, when you want to make a conclusion on something, right, you have to quote certain journals and stuff like that, right? Evidence, you need to substantiate it. All right, otherwise it will become speculation. All right, so we don't want to do that. We want to say, I think it is that, I think it is that, it could be this, it could be that. So we don't want that. We have to establish something very firmly by quoting the reliable sources, authentic sources. So Arjuna is here using the sages as the great personalities as an approval, as authenticity. Yeah, it's like authenticated. Okay, it's a very beautiful sloka. Param Brahma. All right, you are supreme. Param Brahma. Param Dhamma. Dhamma means abode, place. All right, you are the supreme abode. Pavitram, we saw this yesterday, Raja Vidya, Raja Guya, Pavitram, Idam Uttamam. So Pavitram, purest. Paramam, supreme. All right, what else? Eternal, transcendental, original, unborn. I think unborn is Ajam. Okay, greatest, Vibhum, great. What else? And then this is about the sages. So Arjuna is listing all the sages. Narada Muni, we all know Narada Muni. So Asita, Devala, and Vyasa also we know. So these are the great sages. They have confirmed this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. Okay, and then we fast forward to 10.19. Vaishnavi Mataji.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Antate Kadayashyami Divya Hiyatma Vibhutyaha Pradanyanta Guru Sheshta Nasti Antro Vishtrashami. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my slenderous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless.
Thank you, Mataji. By you reading the translation also, I'm like so excited already. I don't know how many times I read this word. It still sounds so good to me. Okay, so Arjuna was greatly impressed with the knowledge that Krishna has given. And now Arjuna wants Krishna to show him the opulence, how he has pervaded this entire universe, or how to remember him. In chapter 9, remember, I'm always going back to chapter 9 because Krishna given an important instruction. Think of me. All right. Man mana bhava mad bhakto. Man mana. Mana means mind. The mind is always should be engaged thinking about Krishna. And another one that I always like to recall is you have to visualize the Astanga Yoga ladder. When you go up, the topmost the ladder on the topmost is Samadhi. Samadhi means absorption. So this is all Krishna's guides and knowledge he's giving so that we can fix our mind on him. Total absorption. We want to achieve Samadhi in this life while we are still living. All right. So to increase that, Krishna is going to give this opulence, description about his opulence. Remember, Bhagavan, one who is full in 6 opulences. All right. Of course, there's another reason is because Arjuna knows that Krishna, not everybody can think of Krishna in his spiritual form. All right. So chapter 6 and chapter 9 is very important. This is prerequisite to understand why Krishna is giving all this knowledge. All right. So it's very difficult for everybody to think of Krishna because not all common men can think of Krishna in his spiritual form. So I repeat that. All right. So Arjuna wants Krishna to show how he appears in his different features in this material world. All right, because Krishna says he provides everything and everywhere with his energy. So Arjuna wants to know these opulences. Okay, and then Krishna says, okay, I will tell you. But remember, I'm not going to tell you everything because my opulence is limitless. I'm only going to tell you what are prominent. So what we're going to learn today is just a spark of his entire opulence. Okay, so with these prominent opulences, we can remember, it will help us to remember Krishna. Okay, so actually the sloka recitation finished. So the next is categorization of the opulences. So Krishna will now describe how we may remember him when viewing the greatest manifestations in this world. So there are few groups. So each group has the best of something, and Krishna will say he is that chief of that. So we will see what are the groups now. So watch carefully. Okay, so first is nature. All right, so Krishna talks about how he is present in nature. All right, he says, I am the light of the sun and the moon. All right, so we can see sun and moon every day, right? So when we think of sun and moon, we can remember Krishna. So this is how we relate. All right, then he said, among mountains, I am Meru. Meru is a mountain where the demigods go to enjoy, and Meru is also the mountain that, you know, the devas and the demons, they churn the ocean to get nectar, right, for immortality. So that is the Meru mountain. That's the one they churn. They churn with what? Vasuki, the snake Vasuki. Okay, and then remember the Meru mountain, you know, wanted to tilt, and the Krishna comes as the Kurma avatar to provide a pivot. Okay, this is the one of the 10 avatars. Next, among the immovable, I am Himalaya. This is Himalaya, sorry, this is Himalaya. Among the immovable, I am Himalaya. So what is the difference? Meru was able to move, right? They were churning. But Himalaya is immovable. So among the immovable, Himalaya is the supreme. And Krishna said that he is that Himalaya. Next is, among the water bodies, I am the ocean, which means that is the biggest reservoir of water, bigger than well or lake or river or anything. Okay, so the biggest is ocean. Among the trees, I am banyan. Banyan is arsam maram, right? So this is like a king of trees. So Krishna says he is the banyan tree among the trees. Sorry. All right. Among the rivers, I'm Ganga. This is Ganga, I think. This is Ganga. All right. Among the months, Margasira. Okay. Of seasons, I am spring. Everybody loves spring. You know why? Because it bears flowers, isn't it? Everybody loves spring. It's the most beautiful season. So Krishna says that he is spring. Okay, so these are some different features of nature according to which we can think of Krishna. Some people would have, yes, Mataji. Margasira, I don't have the information right now, Mataji. I'll try to get for you. Okay. All right. So there was the one time Srila Prabhupada narrated that one time people asked him, have you seen Krishna? Then Prabhupada said, everyone has seen Krishna. You have seen sun, you have seen moon, so you also have seen Krishna. So like that. So we all have seen the sun and the moon. Through the nature, Lord Krishna is making it easy for us to remember him. Okay. Next category is sages. Okay. So you see there are so many names here. Then among all the sages, the Lord says that he is Vyasa. Vyasa Dev is the compiler of the Vedas. So he is the supreme in the sages category. Okay, of all, this is of all sages. And of great sages, he says he is Bhrigu. Okay, so I'm very tempted to give you the details, but this will be covered in level 2, otherwise I cannot finish. Bhrigu. All right, among the sages, of the sages among the demigods, he is Narada. This is Bhrigu. This is Narada. So Narada Muni, he has disciples all over the universes. His job is to give God consciousness to everybody. So that is why he's the topmost among the sages among demigods, because he travels all the planets. All right. Among the priests, I am Brihaspati. So this one I want to mention. So please pay attention. Okay. So when I say like that, you know why, right? Okay, Brihaspati is the priest or guru or masters for the demigods, for the devas. All right, where the demigods dwell in Indraloka, in the heavenly planets. All right, so Indraloka, the king of the heavenly planets is Lord Indra, which means Lord Indra is the chief of the devas. So these devas, so Lord Indra is the chief of the devas. Okay, I repeat, Lord Indra is the chief of the devas. So these devas, they have a chief guru. So this guru is Brihaspati. So whenever they have They have ceremonies, all right? No, okay. So, okay, I repeat, yeah. Heavenly planets. Heavenly planet is also called Indraloka. The king, the chief of these devas, the heavenly denizens, the chief of them is Lord Indra. He's like a king for all the devas. Okay, he's the chief, yeah. So that's number one. Number two, they have all these devas, they have a spiritual master, a guru or a chief priest, and this priest is Brihaspati. Okay, so if you look at the translation, it is said like this: Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets and is known as the king of the heavens. The planet on which he reigns is called Indraloka. Okay, that's number one. Brihaspati is Indra's priest. Okay, and since Indra is the chief of all kings, Brihaspati is the chief of all priests. So Indra is different, Brihaspati is different. Okay, so they are not same also because you see, he's a Muni, he's a sage. Indra is a king. He's like full of opulence. He's got elephant and everything. And there were some stories where he offended his guru, and there were some stories after that, right? Vritrasura story. So that one I recently narrated in level 2. Okay, so Brihaspati, yeah, I spent a little bit of time for Brihaspati. And then among the perfected beings is Kapila. Kapila is Devahuti's son. Kapila is also an incarnation of Krishna. And who else? Then among the great thinkers, I am Sukracharya. Actually, in the Bhagavad Gita, it says Usana. Usana is another name for Sukracharya. If you remember Sukracharya, this is Kapila Dev. So it seems Kapila Dev has an ashram in Ganga Sagar. Ganga Sagar is where Ganga joins the ocean. And it is said that he's still around. He's still around in that place, Ganga Sagar. All right. And finally, Sukracharya. I'm sorry for this poor quality of photo. It's not mine. All right. Sukracharya is where we saw Prahlad went to study, Sukracharya ashram. All right. He's got the two servants, right? Sanda and Amarka. So Sukracharya is a great thinker. All right. Among the great thinkers, I am Sukracharya. Okay. What else? Sukracharya is the guru of the demons, and he's a great thinker. So the Lord has made him as one of his opulence. Okay, so we move to animals. All right, so remember that Parkadal churning, right? Devas one side, demons one side. They churn using the Meru mountain. So they used the serpent Vasuki to churn. When they churn, there are few things came out in the process. So there were two animals came out from there. One is a horse and one is an elephant. This horse is Uchchaisrava. It is called Uchchaisrava. All right. So at that time, the elephant Airavata also appeared. So this elephant was taken by Lord Indra. Okay. So next is Krishna says, among the cows, I am Surabhi. These Surabhi cows, they are in spiritual world. They give unlimited first class quality of milk. Surabhi. Okay, this is a cow of the spiritual world. And then Krishna goes on to say, among the serpents, I am Vasuki. Okay, and among many hooded nagas, I am Ananta. So now one can ask, what is the difference between serpent and many Vasuki and Ananta? Serpents means one-headed, right? And then Ananta is many hooded. Like Ananta Sage is where Bhagwan lies down, right? He lies on Ananta Sage. He's got many hood. So that's the difference. All right. Among the fishes, I am shark. Among the beasts, I'm the lion. So whenever it is said that when there is a fight between elephant and lion, the lion will win. Right. So therefore, the lion is known as the king of the jungle. Recently, my children also say, like lion and tiger, they don't have predators. So that's why I told, is that why lion is called the king? They say, yeah. This is what I learned from my kids. All right. So Krishna says, among the beasts, I am lion. And among the birds, I am Garuda. So because Vishnu is riding on Garuda, right? That's the best of the birds. So in this way, Lord Krishna has again given different ways. First was nature, now animal, and then nature, sage, animals, which we can remember him. through physical things. These are the physical things that we can see in the material world. Okay, sorry. I think this picture is not accurate. This is one. This is Meru mountain, and this is the Adisesh. Okay, this is shark, lion, and Garuda. Okay, so this one we will not go into so much. All right, it's pretty technical, but anyway, we will go through roughly. So this is philosophical truths. Among the senses, Krishna say he is mind, because the mind, as the sixth sense, is the most powerful sense. So Krishna is using that mind as his opulence. All right. Among the heart of the living entities, I am there as super soul. So in the heart we have two, right? Spirit soul and super soul, and Krishna says he's the super soul. And then of poetry, I am Gayatri. Why Gayatri is so special? Because in Sanskrit, you can't simply recite a mantra, right? Whimsically, it has to be nicely composed, because the sound vibration, the letters, the grammars, all has to be pakka, perfect. So among the poetry, he says he's Gayatri. Among the letters, I am A, the beginning. All right. And this one is compound words. This is Sanskrit. I think only Naveen Prabhu knows because he's learning Sanskrit. Prabhu, do you know anything about this? Why Krishna says among the compound words is dual compound? Is it like most difficult word? Who do you know?
I have no idea what that's.
No idea. Yeah, I'm not sure how to explain this further. Okay, so thanks, Prabhu. And of the scientists, the science of the knowledge, I am spiritual science. So there are so many science, and on the topmost of all the science knowledges is the spiritual science of self. All right, that's what the Lord says. And of the logicians, I am the conclusive truth. All right, this one is a little technical, where you know, when there are debates, right? So there are three ways people come to a conclusion. One is direct conclusion. Another one is you defeat somebody by, like, forcefully you defeat somebody. All right, and then number three is you ridicule somebody. So Krishna is saying, I'm the conclusive truth. That means I'm a straightforward truth. So there are three, like Vada, Pravadatam, and Aham. Like Vada means the natural conclusion. Pravadatam means arguments. All right, and then there's another one, Vidanda. Yeah, the third one is Vidanda, means fight, argue. So that is not the right way to come to a conclusion. Krishna says you have to have the natural conclusion. It's not saying that who is right. It's about deciding or coming to a conclusion where what is right. All right, he's saying among the logicians, I am conclusive truth. And then among the Sama Veda hymns, I am Brihat Sama. So Sama Veda is one of the Vedas, Sama, Atharva, Rig, and Yaju, right? So Krishna will elsewhere, he will say, among the four Vedas, I am Sama Veda. And then among the hymns in the Sama Veda, I am Brihat Sama, because Brihat is where you have all the beautiful melodious glorification about the Lord. So among all the songs in the Sama Veda, Brihat is the most melodious. So this is why Krishna is using that as his opulence. Okay, so the last category is how he presents as Vedic mantras. So among the vibration, I am transcendental Om. All right. Among the sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy name. The exact line is Yajnanam Japa Yajnosmi, Japa, chanting. All right. Among the Vedas, I am Samaveda. So this one I explained earlier. So like this, Krishna has explained 5. Actually, there are more, but for level 1, we have covered 5 categories. Okay. Remember? First was nature, sages, animal. What else? Philosophical truth and Vedic mantras. Okay, so this is the recap on the Bhagavan, one who possesses all opulence in full. Beauty, strength, fame, wealth, knowledge, renunciation. Okay, so from this we can conclude that Krishna has listed various objects or groups of living entities and states that he is the essence or the chief member of each group. Okay, let's recap. So Krishna is saying a few things here. How to understand Krishna is to hear. The process is about hearing. Okay, and in chapter 9, he said one qualification is non-envious. And in this chapter, he spoke about how a person should be friend, right? Friendly, friends of Krishna. And then we saw the definition of Bhagavan 6. This one try to memorize, okay? And then we went to this one, crash course in this crash course. 18 days is already a crash course. So these 4 slokas are the crash course inside the crash course. All right. The first one, 10.8, Krishna's opulence. Krishna say he is the source of everything and the benefit of knowing them. And how devotees worship Krishna. And then how? By conversing about him, enlightening each other, right? And then 10 to 10:11, Krishna spoke about how he reciprocates with pure devotees. How he gives us the required intelligence. He says, I give the understanding by which you can attain me. And then for those who have, like a struggle, right? He gives special mercy by shining the torch of knowledge. Okay? Then after hearing all this, Arjuna declared that he accepts Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that he not only he is saying it, the great sages have confirmed it. Okay. Finally, the conclusion on Krishna's appearance. Okay. So Krishna will say in 10:20 to 10:39, which we did not cover, he will say that I have only mentioned to you a few of my unlimited opulences. This is to help us to see Krishna everywhere. So later Krishna will say in 10.42, I think this will be the last sloka, he will say, but what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? Why do you why one even need this kind of detailed knowledge? Because with the single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. With the tiny bit of spark of his entire opulence, he pervades the entire universe. All right. So we want to know how to remember Krishna, how to see Krishna everywhere. In the earlier chapters, Krishna actually will say, I'm the taste of water. So very simple. When you drink water, oh, you enjoy the water, right? Oh, this is Krishna. And then there's one time Prabhupada also, Prabhupada was approached by somebody who loves wine, drinking wine. And he asked, how can I think of Krishna? I cannot let go my wine. Never mind, when you think wine, you think about Krishna. Krishna, this is the taste of Krishna, like that. So the understanding is that not that Prabhupada encouraging him to drink wine, but remember remember Krishna in whatever we do. Okay, any questions so far? All right, so that's Srimad Bhagavatam. And I encourage, because there's a lot of stories inside here. Canto 5 is all about the universe. You have Jambudvipa, all the Sushmara planets and everything. All right, so nice Bhagavatam sets. You can opt for installment as well. Okay, try to get this set. I hope you all have chanting beads. You all have started chanting. So it's already 8:30. Because if you're going to chant now, it's going to take 10 minutes. So, any questions so far, Matajis, Prabhus? We can end the class. We can end the class by 3 chanting. Actually, we are supposed to do 1 round chanting. Okay, maybe tomorrow we will do together. Okay, so let's chant at least 5 times and then we can end the class. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Have a good dinner. We'll
Thank
meet.
you very much, Mataji.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Mataji.
Thank you.
Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Please do quiz by 12 o'clock.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.